Hello everybody, today I'm going to give a lecture on determinism, libertarianism, and compatibilism. Basically three different theories about the kind of freedom or lack of freedom that human beings possess. The first theory that our book discusses is determinism. The determinist holds that every event that happens in the world must have a cause. That cause must come temporally or within time before the effect. So the idea is that everything that happens is caused by something before it that happened. That then would be caused by something that happened before it. That would be caused by something that happened before it, and on and on and on back we can go. Now, if we understand causes and effects in that way, then every time I engage in an action, I am doing something. If I'm doing something, then what I'm doing must have been caused by something else. That must have been caused by something else that came before it. That must have been caused by something else that came before it. And eventually, if we trace these causes back far enough, we recognize that all of our actions are caused by events that happened before we even exist. In other words, whatever I do is caused by something outside of my control and was already determined before I even existed, before I even began to act. In other words, my actions are determined, and in that sense, I am really not free. Now, the libertarian rejects by arguing, no, human actions are not like that. What happens when we act is we project a possible future, a future that does not exist yet. Since that future does not exist yet, at the time we are projecting it, we can't say that it is caused by anything. So, when I'm at a moment, I can project a number of possible futures. At the moment I make that projection, those futures are not yet caused. What I then do, because I have free will, is I choose one of those futures. If the projection was not caused when I thought of it, then my choice is also not caused by something outside of myself. I am the cause of whatever effect that I create in the world. So the libertarian basically argues we have free will. When we act, we are choosing what to do, and those actions come from us. They do not come from anything necessarily outside of us. So this is a classic debate in the history of philosophy. Are our actions determined, or do we really have free will? Now, at some point, as oftentimes happens in philosophy, some philosophers try to take a middle ground. They try to argue it doesn't have to be just one or the other. Maybe it can be the case that all actions are caused, but at the same time, we as human beings can still be free. This position is what we call compatibilism. The idea is that causation is compatible with free will, that determinism is compatible with libertarianism. And so the compatibilist holds that the key is just to redefine the concept of freedom. For the compatibilist, freedom means something different than it does for the libertarian, than it does for the determinist. For the compatibilist, we are free whenever our actions are not forced upon us by some kind of outside agency. So for example, right now in my life, I am free to do what I want to do. If someone puts a gun to my head and says, give me all of your money, I am no longer free in that case. I have been forced to turn over my wallet to another person. Or if I am in prison and the rules of being in prison say that I have to be in my cell for however many hours a day or whatever. In that case, I am not free because my actions are forced by an outside agency. But so long as I am able to make choices, then I would be free. So what compatibilism does is it says we can still understand that all of our actions are caused by something else. When I make a choice, that choice is still caused, but the difference is some people make choices without an external agent forcing them to do something, and some people have that force. If I'm acting without something else forcing me to do something, then we can say that I am free, and therefore I have free will, even though we can still understand my actions as being caused by whatever it is that caused me to make that choice. So, the determinist holds that free will does not make sense, that in a world where everything is causally determined, we have no free will. The libertarian says no, human actions are a unique kind of thing, and therefore when human beings act, we are freely choosing. We do have free will. And the compatibilist says, if we rethink freedom and define it in the proper way, we can say both, that our actions are caused and that we have free choices, that we engage in free will.